What's up, tricksters, and welcome to the early morning Charlatan free live VOD review. Basically today, we have my dear friend Shazam that won a free VOD review through my giveaways on Discord. So if you want to get free VOD reviews or free coaching, I highly recommend you to join my Discord server because all of the best stuff is there. Now, who is Shazam? Shazam is basically a player that I've coached previously in my 1-month coaching, and he got Immortal 3, but on the Australian servers, OCE. And reaching Radiant in OCE is kinda a shit show, because there's a lot of cheaters. Matchmaking is even worse than in Europe, which is unfathomable, basically. And he decided to play on North America. And this is his game on NA. Right now on NA, he is Diamond 1, and he is kinda stomping these lobbies because, you know, he reached Immortal 3 on OC. But, you know, every VOD is a learning experience. Even he, as an Immortal 3 player, is losing the games because, let's be honest, like, the game quality in Australia is nowhere near Europe and North America. And we're gonna see today, like, what he can do better. He is playing Jett on Fracture. First, let's see what he said to us right here. I queue on mostly Virginia, Texas, Illinois. Okay, one thing I would recommend you is avoid the North Virginia servers, because the most European ELO boosters are playing on that server. Like, if you're playing in NA, avoid Virginia and maybe even Texas. I don't know. Like, Illinois is fine from my experience, but Virginia is literally the absolutely worst server in NA. Honestly, I'm not sure what's going on. Like, ever since I hit high platinum, I've been having the worst teammates known to mankind, and toxic teammates, and when I watch my NA friends before I came to NA, they are so nice and chill. Like, I know I'm better than these players, but I don't know what I should work and how to compensate for the mistakes of my team. The playstyle is so weird and different, like, I don't know what to do. I've been playing Raze, Jett and Reyna since those are the easiest to smurf with, and rank up with for me. Can you please tell me what I'm doing wrong? For example, it's 3v1. I tell my teammates don't push, don't peek. They want to ego swing and lose the round. I think I struggle to play around my team and how to use them to bait them. Even when I win, it's so painful and long. I need to help to close the game easily and simply as possible. Okay, English is not really our strongest weapon, as I can see. But listen here, I've seen this a lot of times. Basically, like, when you're a high elo player, you know, this happens to me as well. Like, you play in Immortal 3, you play in Radiant against top 20, top 30 players. You kinda get used to players that are using their brain and they know what they're doing. You know, like, basically, it's a completely different experience. But when you're playing in the lobbies that are in Diamond, Ascendant, Platinum, Gold, like, you expect nothing, essentially. Like, you should expect 0 from your teammates. Like, you really need to be in the full-on solo carry mindset in order to have the highest win percentage possible. Like, basically, trust issues, maximum. Solo carry mindset, maximum. Team play, 0. But when I say team play 0, I mean, like, VCT team play. Like, brother, you cannot expect from a Diamond player to give you the smokes like Mako from DRX, for an example. You cannot expect your breach to do the stuff that Kix is doing, for an example. Like, fuck that shit. Like, you just need to boil down your gameplay on the essentials for you to carry these matches. Like, every round, you value your life more than the life of your teammates. That doesn't mean that you should bait the shit out of them. But if you don't need to swing first an angle, don't swing it. Trust me, your diamond teammates, they will be more than happy to take every single fight that there is to take in Valorant. Why? Because they only see blood in their eyes. Like, they only look at Valorant like a FPS game. Shoot, kill, shoot, kill, shoot, kill, and who has better mechanics, he wins the game. So, listen. Try to dial back a bit. Like basically, I explained this to you in my coaching when we first done it. We have 3 elos in Valorant. And based in which elo you play, depends what type of playstyle you need to have. Like, when you're playing in this, like, right now his account is Diamond 1, but I think he has the MMR of an Ascendant. Yeah, he's playing with Ascendant players already. Like, you're already in that, like, medium elo of Valorant. Like, high, low, elo, low, medium elo. So, in this specific elo, the most important thing for you to focus on, if you want to get to Immortal 3 as fast as possible, to your peak rank, essentially, is the proper ranked team play. Ranked team play. So, essentially, listen here. In the first 4 rounds, on both attackers and defenders side, you have 300% focus, and you're evaluating what type of teammates you have, what type of enemies you have in a specific match. If you have teammates on the attacker side that are aggressive and bad, for an example, what do we do with these teammates? We try to follow our most aggressive teammates and use their body as a refrag tool to open up the space for the rest of our team, for an example. Essentially, like, you want to, like, in this elo, you should focus more on refrag potential and what the fuck your teammates are doing, rather than focusing on how to counter the enemies. Because, let's say you're playing Fracture, and your teammate on B main is peeking the enemies, right here, like your chamber, for an example on a defender side. You are 100% certain that that chamber is gonna die. But also, you think that enemies will go A in that specific round. But you still know that chamber is gonna die 100%. What do? We play retake of the A site. If our teammates are playing passively on A. And then what do? We use the life of our chamber. We try to refrag this idiot that is gonna peek and play with him. Essentially, that is how you need to play in this elo. Like, basically, at the start of every round, you're just asking yourself, who is one of my teammates that has the highest chances of dying? Who is gonna die first? And who do I need to support? And you're just trading numbers left and right. Now, it is not simple as this, of course. Like, there's so many rules and tips that you need to follow and so many things that you need to observe. But the main problem in this, like, high-low elo, low-medium elo, is that players have a huge ego. you know, sometimes even higher ego than Radiant players. They will go for some peaks that not even 10s can perform, and they're gonna die. You know? So, basically, that might be one of the reasons why because you explained it right here. Like, for an example, it's 3v1. I tell my teammates don't push, don't peek, they want to ego swing and lose the round. That's the problem. This is the sentence that is your problem right now. Why do you even tell them what to do? Like, follow what monkeys do. You know, replicate what these monkeys do, use their lives as best as you can, refrag them and win the round. What's the problem? And also, the second tip, like when you're giving comms, you know, when you're giving strategies to your teammates, telling them what to do, how to play, after you give a call out, what do you do then? You never tunnel vision on the call out. Why? Because it is ranked. It is ranked, brother. Like players are autopiloting. Maybe the guy just came, you know, played 15, 20 matches this day. He lost 20 matches in a row. He doesn't give a fuck. Also, like, maybe there's a guy that doesn't even play Valorant. You know, he plays one game in like a month, but he still has a diamond account, ascendant account. He doesn't give a fuck. When you give a call out in Valorant, in ranked solo queue, like, the first thing you do is you look at the minimap and you look at your teammates and you ask yourself, are these guys actually listening to my call out? If they are, amazing, great, we're gonna probably win this round. If they're not, fuck the call out. It never existed in the first place. It went into one ear, all the way through the other ear. The brain didn't register the call out. Follow what your monkeys do. And try to compensate their mistakes. This elo, where you're playing right now, is the elo where you're just compensating the mistakes of your teammates while trying to counter the enemies. Like, that's how your gameplay needs to boil down, essentially. Now, I think it's kind of pointless for me to take a look at your tracker. I mean, like, you're basically, like, you know, smurfing right now because you are an Immortal 3 player and you just made a North America account. The only thing that is kind of concerning is that your mechanics dropped a bit. You know, like, I don't know how your headshot percentage is so low on Vandal. You know, overall, doesn't matter. Like, I mean, you're using the Operator, you're using the Outlaw, using the Short T. I mean, you're using all of the weapons that I tell you to use and that you should use. Like, the only thing that you're not abusing as much as you should is, like, maybe a Stinger. But, I mean, you're good. This is chat. This is how the proper weapon versatility should look like in Valorant. This is actually muy bien, muy bien. I don't want to shit about it. But maybe because you're playing in a bit lower elo, like, than your usual, you simply don't give a fuck. And you just spray a few bodies left and right. But that might hurt you later on. So, you know, don't do that. Like, still focus on proper mechanics, you know, hitting those headshots when you need to hit them and stuff like that. But, I mean, you know, I really believe that if you got Immortal 3 in fucking Australia, you can easily get Immortal 3 in North America. Just, it's probably gonna take you, like, you know, I think you need 2 more months to do that. Like, when you make a new account, it is almost impossible to get Radiant only in one act. New fresh account. Or even Immortal 3 sometimes. Because if you want to go from unranked to Immortal 3 on a fresh account, you need to play like 100 games and win like 80% of them. So you need to win 80 games and lose 20 on a fresh new account. And if you want to reach Radiant on a fresh new account, like you need to play around 300 hours of Valorant during an act with a 60 to 70% win rate. So it's almost impossible, like, for an average player that has life, that touches grass from time to time, and, you know, like, stuff like that. So, you know, looking good. Like, just keep up. Like, you will get Immortal 3 on North America, like, probably next act. You know, V25, V16 motor, Mustang from 1994, Act 2. I don't know what the fuck is Valorant doing, like with their namings, but you get the point. Like, basically, in the Act 2, you're probably gonna get Immortal 3 without any problems. But let's see what you're doing on Fracture and how the fuck did you lose this game, like, in a diamond lobby, to be honest. So Jett on Fracture, and we are on the I take her side. Let's go. Hi, I'm Platinum, but I think I don't deserve it, so I started from level 1 Iron, so what should I practice again? Mainly I started playing Phoenix, please reply. I mean, if you're a Platinum and you're starting in a Iron, you should be able to get, like, gold without... with your eyes closed. Listen, like, when you're coming back to Valorant, like, I don't know what is really the question there, like, because, you know, what the fuck. When you're coming back to Valorant, I would just recommend you to put in as many hours as possible into ranked. Have a consistent warm-up routine. Have a consistent aim training routine. Just focus on the fundamentals. And focus on proper utility usage. Like the main thing that you kinda lose when you make a breaks from Valorant is the feeling for the game and feeling for movement. Like, try to do as many in-game tasks as possible. You know, like, such as practice range, deathmatch, custom server, like crosshair placement training, like stuff like that. Because, for example, when I made a break of 2 months, like in December and January, like, I completely lost the feeling for timings, feeling for my movement. Like, I played CS2 and then Marvel Rivals, so that is the first thing that you lose, like, when you kind of, like, make a break. Underrated part of improving is just getting the opportunity to fight against better players. I was always saying that. That is the only reason why I'm not against the smurfing. I mean, I'm not gonna smurf probably ever again. Like, I'm never gonna buy or create a I don't want account and go, you know, destroy these lobbies again. But, you know, it's a good reality check from time to time. Like, that you get fucking stomped by someone better than you. And to see, like, what is actually the gap between you and an actual Radiant player. Because a lot of people don't realize, like, you know, for example, they watch my stream, you know? And they see that I drop, like, I don't know, 10 kills against Kicks, Durkay, Scream, and others. And they think they're better than me. Brother, here is the keyboard, here is the mouse. Let's see how many kills you are gonna drop against a top 10 Radiant player. We can compare it, you know, like, or we can do some other test as well, like. So, it's a really good opportunity for you to learn and grow, essentially. Vitality 1, let's go. Very good. Very good. I was watching the Abyss game, like, Abyss looked really rough. Abyss looked really, really rough. Okay, now, let's talk about the Fracture. Because for a long time, we didn't do the Fracture WOD review. Now, on Fracture, on the attacker side, number one thing you need to remember. B-main area of the map is not a B-main area of the map. B-main area of the map is arcade area of the map. So that simply means that you always prioritize the arcade when you're doing 5-man executes onto the B site. This right here is the lurking area of the map. So basically, in the so-called B main, when you're doing the 5-man executes on B, you want to have maximum 1 player going through this area of the map that is slowly taking it on the timing and trying to just clear this position before we are moving out from the arcade onto the site. Once you take arcade control, basically the control of the tower, control of the box, going onto the B site is 10 times easier. Now, on the A site, A main control is far more important than the dish control. Like, this is a lurking, splitting area of the map. Like, maybe, you know, like basically during your gameplay on the attacker side, there can be a moment of time where you call for a 5-man push through B main and a 5-man push through dish. You know, in some eco rounds, halbye rounds, I don't know, like to test it out a bit, to split the map a bit and stuff like that. But that is like your last resort on this map. Absolutely last resort. Now, let's talk about the first round on Fracture. B site is our default site. Number 1 priority. A site, number 2 priority. The best strategy for ranked solo queue, especially if you're playing in the lobbies below Immortal 3, is pushing arcade 3 rounds in a row, and then in the 4th round, doing some kind of a fake. Basically, faking B, going A, or faking A, going B. And during this time, when you're pushing arcade, which we're doing a 4 or 5-man push through arcade, and only 0 or 1 player should be moving through the B main, trying to backstab the enemies through here. So, if you're playing Jett for an example, like, I would pick up the spike in a diamond lobby, tell my teammates, hey guys, let's do a 5-man push on arcade. Chamber, go lurk through the B main. Killjoy, go into the B main, play a bit slower. Fuck you, man. Okay, don't say fuck you, man, like, the guy is gonna be angry. You buy classic pistol, light shield, smoke and updraft if enemies have some sentinels such as Vise, Deadlock, Sage, or Cypher. Or you buy 2 smokes if enemies don't have any sentinel that can fuck you up on the lower ground. We run fast through the arcade area of the map, tell our teammates to smoke the gen and the canteen. The canteen smoke should look like this. The gen smoke should look like this. And we're jump spotting the enemies here, moving in with the dash ability, clearing the gen, clearing the box, and essentially with a smoke here and the dash ability active, we're moving into the site and we are actually fighting with the dash ability. You can also do something like this, where you're doing the smoke in that 90-degree angle, revealing the enemies on the site, and then from the gen, we're extending the push and fighting with our teammates. But ultimately, the best idea when you're executing the B site in the first round is using this smoke here to cover yourself up, then using the second smoke on tower and dashing into this smoke. So your job, essentially, is to backstab the enemies on tower and to pinch them right there. So we are clearing the box, clearing the tower, gathering information on the site. That's it. Now, if you see the enemies, you know, somewhere on the site, basically like you reveal them like here or here, like, of course you need to take that fight, and you should take that fight. But ultimately, what you never want to do in the first round is you never want to go straight onto tower, like something like this, for an example. Why? Because if Charlatan is playing here his classic shorty strategy, and your teammates don't give you a flash stun or something for tower, you will get absolutely fucking destroyed. And in the first round, especially, you need to value your life more than the life of your teammates. And you don't want to take these unnecessary risks. Let your teammates go on tower. Let them die. Fuck it. Like, you come behind the enemies on tower, kill them here, clear the site, and then fight together with your allies. Now let's see how... I don't know what I'm gonna see in this VOD, to be honest, like... Okay.
Right there.
Okay, so... we have Astra, Jett, Breach, Raze, and Chamber. Enemies have Yoru, Reyna, Tejo, Deadlock, and Brimstone. I mean, enemies have a really solid team comp to keep the aim and control. But if you just bait out their early utility, I mean, pushing Ace should be easy. I mean, I guess this team comp, like, pushing both Ace and Beast should be piece of cake. This is what... listen, like, I always say that in ranked solo queue communication doesn't matter, like, that much. You should just be giving your teammates macro and micro comms that are easy to understand and they can easily follow. You know? But in the first round, you need to tell them what to do in this elo. Like, this is Diamond, bro. Like, you needed to tell your Astra brother, come with us through the arcade, let the chamber lurk alone through the B main. Like, it is really important that there is like 4 of us in the arcade in the first round. So if we are getting pinched here, or getting fucked by the enemies, chances of all of us dying is like 0, basically. But when 3 of you guys are going here, if there are 2 enemies in arcade, you know, it is gonna be. Also here, man, like, listen, I told you this before we started the VOD review. So, if you're playing against Deadlock, against Cypher, Killjoy, like, by the updrift, you know? Like, you don't need to wait for your... like, as your teammates are destroying the wall, you can already updrift around it, activate the dash ability, pick a fight, stuff like that. Like, and also, man, like, tell me. Like, how are you not ready for a fight here? Like, Deadlock just did a wall. I mean, I don't know if I should expect Yoru there, you know? But we should definitely expect the Deadlock. I mean, anyways, why are you pushing this main area of the map on such an autopilot mode? Like, why did you just swing it? Like there's not even a single chance for an enemy to be here. Basically, like, whenever you're clearing an area of the map where you have no idea if the enemies are there, you always clear it with a pre-assumption that enemies are 100% there. Like, always. You don't know if enemies are somewhere. Jump spot that angle. Jiggle peek that angle. Let your teammates peek second, be ready to peek with a gun out and a crosser placement ready. Like here, I have Raze in front of myself. Amazing. I'm gonna bait the shit out of her. Because she's not afraid to die. And I don't want to be the first contact. No problem. Amazing. I'll come towards this wall, wait for the Raze to peek, because she's a bloodthirsty gorilla. Raze peeks, but I'm instantly there with a crosshair placement, with a movement to take that fight. And to fight together with my Raze. I don't know why here you played with a pre-assumption that no one is gonna peek you. And no one is gonna fight. Like, I mean, like, when you're pushing through the arcade area of the map, you should be expecting a jiggle peek here 24/7. You should be expecting enemies behind the box 24/7 and this type of a peek. You should be expecting the enemies to peek you from tower at any moment of time. I mean, ultimately, the best idea, you know, when I'm pushing something in the first round, jump spot this, clear this angle, I'm out. Generally speaking, like, when you're doing a 5-man execute somewhere, or a push somewhere fast, so you're not pushing on contact, the best idea in low elo lobbies and medium elo lobbies is that you run in front of your teammates. So the call out is, let's do a 4-man push on through arcade. Go first. Why? Because none of your fucking teammates will ever jump spot an angle. Like, literally. And sometimes they're not even gonna use utility to clear it. Even in Diamond, Ascendant, and Immortal lobbies. A lot of players will just ego peek every angle and then be like, oh, how did I die from from 3 operators holding me? I wonder, like, you know, I think Tens cannot kill 3 operators like that are standing here. So, you know, first round in Valorant should always be a 5-man aggressive push towards one specific objective. No lurking, no flanking, no splitting apart, nothing. 5-man execute. Fast execute. Like 90% of first round strategies should be like that. So here we should have just told our teammates, Astra, come with us through arcade. Tell them, let's run, guys. I'm gonna go first. Jump spot the angle. Yoru is there. Activate a dash ability. Take a fight. Try to kill the Yoru. You know, together with your allies. Destroy the deadlock wall. While your teammates are destroying the wall, you're not destroying it. Why? Because we have no fucking idea where is deadlock. She can peek us at any moment of time. And once our teammates destroy the wall, we move in. That's it. Continue with the plan. Let's see how they played. Like, they had Yoru deadlock.
Reloading.
Yoru deadlock on B. Who else is there? No one. Brimstone is probably CT or tower. Also, listen, like one more tip I need to give you, like, if you're really serious about your grind in Valorant, when you die, especially if you die first in your team, that is the best moment of time for you to observe what the fuck is happening. Like, to notice, you know, how enemies are playing, where they are positioning themselves, where they position themselves during that specific round, and to gather valuable information. Like, information in Valorant is everything, especially on the attacker side. Like, on the attack, you need to consistently ask yourself, like, how are they positioning themselves? What are they fighting for? When they have this economy, what they like to do? Which areas of the maps they are commonly peeking? Like, one of the main things you can easily abuse in Valorant, in low elo and medium elo lobbies, is like players' repetition. Players are mega repetitive. Their playbooks are this thick. You know, they're really shallow, not that deep.
Blocking vision. Recovering it.
Okay, I mean, like, from this first round, what we learned is, first of all, that our teammates are not really the brightest shed in the tool. Like, basically, they managed to lose, like, that round quite easily, and I still wouldn't put a lot of trust into my teammates. Second thing is, Brimstone and Teho and Reyna were playing A site, while Deadlock and Yoru were playing B, and they were fighting for the arcade area of the map. Also, the third thing that we noticed in the first round is that enemies did a mega fast rotation. Like, they rotated immediately. So, with that information, I'm not gonna change the original plan that I talked about. I'm gonna stick to it. Because this pattern of pushing is the best for Fracture. Especially if you want to have an easy time winning the 4th round. Because winning the fourth round is really important. Like, that is usually the the point where things kind of break a lot of the times, especially if you lose the first 3 rounds or if you win the first 3 rounds. So in the second round, I would do a fracture. I would do the 5-man arcade push again. Not 5-man, but 4 or 5-man. But since we lost the round, what should we buy? Shorty with 1 smoke. That's it. You don't need anything else. And maybe if you have some extra credits, maybe updrift. Updrift, smoke, shorty. Jump spot the enemies here. Tell your breach to give you a flash. For this area of the map. Use the updrift dash. Get here. This is how the updrift dash onto B tower should look like. Let me repeat it one more time. From this position, jump updrift, get onto this ledge. You want to get exactly here. You don't want to dash all the way here, because on this range, you cannot kill the enemies with a shotgun. And you don't want to be exposed. I'm gonna show you one more time. You don't want to be exposed like this. Well, just a moment, I don't know why that didn't work. Like, you don't want to be exposed. Now I'm just fucking up things. You don't want to be exposed like this without your gun out. Essentially, there's like 0.58 seconds where you don't have a gun ready to shoot. This ledge here is your lifesaver on fracture that you should always use to peek the enemies on tower. Now, you got here with a shorty, with a shotgun. What do we do next? Small jump spot. Or jiggle peek. Reveal the enemies there, reveal the enemies here. An enemy is there, waiting for you. No problem. Throw a smoke. Run him down. Take a kill. No one is here. Amazing. Jump spot the enemies. Aha, enemy is there. No problem. Smoke. Run him down. Take a kill. Take a gun. Maybe we can win this round. With Jett, in these eco rounds, you really want to play as a kamikaze. I mean, you don't need to buy a short. You can go with a classic pistol as well. It doesn't matter that much. You have a triple shot anyways. Just with a short, you can get some very easy kills. And players in these low and medium elo lobbies, they like to play on tower a lot. So you might find a free kill for yourself. I don't know if you're speaking at all, but we need to speak basically on the attacker side, in the first 4 rounds, you need to give your teammates ideas. What to do, where to go, and that's it. And during the match, you need to give them the ideas when you have a great idea to counter the enemies. Like, basically, in these low elo lobbies and medium elo lobbies, you need to communicate 10 times more than in high elo. You don't need to be an IGL. You don't need to tell them exactly, some high level VCT strategies. But in this round, give them an idea what we're doing, what we should do, where we should go. Okay, we saw the Deadlock and Yoru playing in the arcade. I can updrift dash over that wall and maybe kill the Yoru with a shorty. Open up that area of the map for my team and win the round. Maybe I can updrift dash onto the tower and kill the Deadlock that was playing on the site and tower in the last round.
Recovering it. I got the spike.
From my experience, I think that low elo and medium elo players listen to me more than high elo players at the start of the rounds. Because high elo players have a huge ego. Their ego is just through the roof. I mean, I also have it, but not that much. Basically, some of these players, they think they're fucking gods. And they're just grinding rank 24/7. They think they're gonna go pro in this game. Relax, brother. When I was doing Iron 1 to Radiant series, and we've done plenty of them, I think that these low elo, medium elo players, I mean, I don't think, I know, like, they listen to me, like, at least 60% of times. If I give them the call out with a specific tone of my voice, or if I'm performing a bit better than them, they will listen, you know? Even, to be honest, like, even in the games where I was playing like shit, you know, because I was playing some challenge with a shorty, they still listen. 60% of times, I would say. They're just waiting for someone to guide them. You know, they're basically like a lost monkeys in the forest. Waiting for a primal gorilla to lead them. Like, that analogy, like, bro, like, just... It's too early in the morning. This is morning for me, guys. So, you know, you should try. I know it's tiring. I know it can get mentally taxing. Basically, these days I don't give a fuck about ranked at all. Like, literally, I cannot be bothered to like lead any game or to tell my teammates what to do, because I got Radiant 23 times. I got every fucking gun buddy in this game. Like, I don't want to do it anymore. But if you're serious about your improvement, and if you want to reach Radiant for the first time ever, like, you need to be invested more into the game, you know?
Enemy B.
He beat out.
Spike drop.
Empty spike.
Headlock one bullet.
I really don't like, you know, how much we changed this, the pacing of the game, like, in the second round. Listen, like, just from now on, like trust me, like, I've done so many testings. Like, basically, every single strategy that I tell you to do in ranked solo queue, I tested minimum 100 times across different lobbies between Iron 1 and Immortal 3. Because, you know, like, 99.8% of Valorant community is below Immortal 3. Like, my main point of coaching is to get you to high elo, like, essentially. Like, this pattern of pushing is literally the best on Fracture. It is much more unpredictable. It gives you the highest chances of winning the 4th round. You should do it. You need to do it, essentially. Like, basically, pushing the arcade 3 rounds in a row, and in the 4th round, faking A going B or faking B going A. This will work like 60% of times. Like, there's not a single strategy that's gonna work 100% of times. Nothing can guarantee you that. Like, 100% win rate is impossible. Like, this is the number that you're aiming for in Valorant. If something works 60% of times, it is 10 times better than something that works like 50% of times. That is a complete fucking gamble. You know? Like in this round, for an example, like, what? 3 of us are going B main, 2 of your teammates are going dish. What the fuck are we doing? And of course, like, if, you know, like, if your teammates don't listen to you, you just adapt to them and you play with your teammates that you think you have the highest chances of dying. Or teammates that are useful for you at that moment of time. You think you can use them somehow. But, I don't know, like, I would still try to tell them what to do, I don't know.
Enemy B. Reloading.
Shazam, brother, like, when you watch this, like, did you actually move to North America? Huh?
You guys cut noise speed, cut noise speed.
Tio
Still thrown behind me up.
When did that happen? Bro, like that trademark there is like bro, what the fuck did I just see? Listen, man, like from now on, if you have Chamber in the team as a solo sentinel on Fracture, like, that Chamber should 24/7 give you a trademark here, like this, or a trademark here, like this. Basically, the trademark needs to guard the you know, this cross between these sections, and also this trademark and this trademark is impossible to be crossed without some hardcore smoke. You know, like clove smoke, Astra smoke, stuff like that. I don't know, like, you need to have that if you have Chamber in the team as a solo sentinel. Okay. I don't know, like from these first 2 rounds, like, I just... Brother, listen here, like... You have access, you have a lifetime... Because I coached you. You have a lifetime access to my ranked playbook on Discord. Number 1. You have a lifetime access to my private coaching videos that I've shared with you during our 1 month of coaching. Right? Refresh your memory. You know, what the fuck you should be doing on every single map. I know that Fracture has not been here for like, what, 7 months? Refresh your memory. Lead your teammates a bit more. At least in these earlier rounds. Because this is criminal, like, for this elo.
Rise and bring glory.
I mean, like, at the end of the day, as I said, he is probably gonna get Immortal 3 just based on the fact that he has already got Immortal 3 in Australia, and he has a better mechanics than these players, probably. You know, a bit better. But the whole point of Valorant, you know, the whole point when you're grinding something, whether it is going to the gym, whether it is wanting to become better, I don't know, like programmer, game designer, like porn star, I don't know, like OnlyFans model. The whole point is to be efficient. You want to waste the least amount of time possible getting to your goal, while learning the most out of it, of that experience, essentially. Like, I mean, every single one of you can reach Radiant, like, even if you don't have arms, but if you play 10,000 hours of Valorant. I firmly believe that any player in this game, if you play 10,000 hours of Valorant, at one point, by the sheer luck, you will get Radiant. By the sheer fact, like, how the fucking matchmaking is built, the MMR system, you will get Radiant. But do you really want to spend 10,000 hours to get to the high elo, when you can spend like 1,000, and then spend 9,000 hours on perfecting yourself, making the business out of it, becoming a pro player, becoming a coach, becoming a content creator, becoming something else? You know? How many hours for Immortal? It was just like it's a random number. I don't know, like, you know, maybe people can do it in 5,000. Like, it doesn't, the number doesn't matter. The whole point is, like, I mean, that's generally the point of my private coaching as well. Like, you're just trading money for time. And that's it, like. Yeah. Okay, this round is a really good learning experience. Same as the previous round. So enemies are actually not taking the A main area of the map. They're not taking the A main area of the map. That is a huge problem on Fracture. Like, when you notice that enemies are not fighting for the A main area of the map, you should be trying to abuse that against them. Like, pushing them back, taking this space, and seeing how they react to that. Because when enemies lose such a valuable area of the map, like, the round is already tough on a defender's side. And whenever I notice in my matches that enemies are not fighting for this, I will try to call for a 5-man push on A site, at least 2 times or 3 times in a row, just to see how enemies are gonna play on the site. Especially if they're leaving the dish as well. It should be so easy pinching the enemies on site. We just do the smokes, I don't know, like, here, 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 enter the site, that's it. Smoke the tower, smoke the CT, take the drop, take the site, that's it. Like, basically teams that are not fighting for aim and area of the map are already in a huge disadvantage. God, help me, like, what is that smoke, man? That smoke is so bad.
Boom, boom.
Listen. How you're clearing the angles is criminal for your specific level. Like, take your time. Like, you're swiping these angles too much. You know, like, basically, some angles in Valorant, we need to peel. You know, there's no point, like, in jiggle peeking them and cutting the pie. Like, for example, here, as I'm doing this, sure, I'm gonna peel this angle. But when I come here, I'm gonna cut the pie. I don't know, maybe Charlatan is there with the op, holding this position. I don't want to die from this shit, you know. Then, I'm gonna come here, jiggle peek this position. We have nobody dish. Let's check the dish. Let's check this, check that. Then in and out. In and out. Like, check everything one by one. Then we can peel maybe these positions. Check this corner. But you cannot, like, this is what you did, bro. When you're clearing the angles like this, you're in a huge I mean, you know this, bro. You're fucking Immortal 3 on Australia, man. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Why are you playing these games with like 20% of your power? Go to that fucking Immortal 3 as soon as possible, like in North America. There is like 10 days until the end of the act. There is only 350 radiants. Brother, you can get a radiant for the first time ever so easily. And play with actual good players, not, you know, with mentally disabled players that I'm playing with. Yeah, see you, Wall Street, man. This is another criminal thing. Listen, in ranked solo queue, who are the most important? What is the most important role that you need to micromanage? On the attacker side, I'm not gonna wait for your answer. Like, it is controllers. You need to tell your teammates what to smoke, and you need to know every single good and bad setup, smoke setup, for every single execute. Having the sand smoked, and the dish smoked, and the CT is open. That is criminal in a Diamond Ascendant lobby. Fucking criminal. Basically, if you're doing a 5-man push through aim-in and sense, we smoke the tower and smoke the CT. And unfortunately, if you have Astra as a controller, we need to leave the dish open. Now, there is another option with Astra. We can smoke the dish and smoke the tower, but we need to have either Nova Pulse or Gravity Well for the CT. We cannot be coming out onto the site and two enemies are looking at me from the CT position. I mean, of course we can kill them, but like, come on, man. What the fuck is this, bro? Okay, that's not really your mistake. You know, like, I also, you know, if I saw this smoke, I would have also thought, like, hopefully it's a proper smoke. I mean, basically, we can, like, another thing that we learned from this round, from the next round, is that we really cannot trust our controller at all. And we need to tell him what to do. Like, this tower smoke should have looked like this. Towards the enemies, on this edge. This smoke on dish needs to cover all of these angles. But there cannot be a gap. You know, basically you place the smoke exactly on this pin right here. That's where the smoke goes. And then you smoke everything. But this was like, you know. A bit unlucky, but also another question is like, where are you running? Where are you going? Huh? You got 2 kills in the CT. Your team still didn't take the site control. We didn't clear the bomb site. Where the fuck are you going? If we kill the 2 enemies in CT here, we need to clear the site and play with our teammates. What are you doing? Like instead of jumping there towards the dish, he should have just used his dash ability that he already activated to get onto the bomb site, clear the bottom, clear the top, and just play the postman with his teammates. Like, your job is done. Remember that your job in Valorant is simply to make numbers advantage and preserve that numbers advantage for as much as possible time. That's it. Once you kill 2 enemies, we're 5 versus 3. My main mindset is like, how the hell can I connect with my teammates right now and play with them on a reframe potential? And that's the only mindset that you need to have.
Player standing.
Now we are 1v1 and God help us here.
You're stubborn.
We won this, okay. Okay, so how do we call the first 4 rounds in Valorant? We call them the learning rounds. Why? Because you should be learning what enemies are doing and what your teammates are doing. So, what did we learn thus far? We learned that enemies are really fast on rotations. Enemies are rotating like this. We learned that enemies do like to flank us, and we need to expect that. We also learned that enemies are not fighting aggressively for the aim-in area of the map with their utility. We also learned that enemies are fighting for the dish instead of the aim-in. We also learned that Yoru is changing his position, so we cannot really expect Yoru to be on one. Basically, Yoru and Reyna are switching each other. But another thing that we learned is that 3 players are usually playing A, 2 players are playing B. So, with all of that shit, what should we do right now? 1-4 arcade push, because we know that there's only 2 enemies on the B site. Enemies are primarily relying on Deadlock to defend the B site. In this elo, I highly doubt she's gonna have any good setups that you cannot easily outmaneuver. And that's it. Or we can try the 5-man push on A again through the aim-in, because when you notice that enemies are not fighting for the aim-in, like, A set executes are quite easy, basically. Like, you know, you should be able to take the A set like 60% of times. Good pathing here. Please. Like guys, you can try it for yourself. Like, basically, the next 100 times when you play Fracture, call a 4-man push through arcade or a 5-man push through arcade. Write it down how many times it worked for you, instead of prioritizing the B-man area of the map. I don't want to speak about it anymore. Like, you know, it is just stupid, like leaving your breach and Raze taking the arcade like alone, while you, Astra, and Chamber are going through the B-man. Like, this is a lurking area of the map. Like, only Chamber should be here right now. You know, right now we're gonna get smoked, we're gonna get mollied. Maybe there is some Deadlock fucked up setup that's gonna kill us. Also, like, I don't know where's the Deadlock wall. Let me hear it. Probably in arcade right now.
Gotta break it.
Why not 2-3? We can do 2-3 as well. Just, I recommend you to personally be the one that is going through arcade and carrying the spike. That is the main recommendation. Like, you should not be B-main. When I say you, I mean like you that is watching this. Whoever the hell you are. Like, play with the teammates in arcade. Carry the spike there. You know? There can be two of your teammates in B-main. There can be one. But there should be like 3 players in arcade, including you, carrying the spike there. Because when you lose the spike in B-main, it is much harder to retrieve it. Number 1. Number 2, in B-main... So when should you actually play in B-main? That's actually a better question. You should play in the B-main when you notice that your teammates are getting punished there a lot of the times. Because enemies have the operator that is peeking B-main, your teammates don't know how to fight the enemies there, and that's it. Like, that is the moment of time when you should go through B-main with your allies and try to punish the enemies. Or, if the call-out is like, let's do a 5-man push through the B-main onto the B site. Because you want to mix it up a bit.
One site. One site tower. One site.
I don't know if you got bamboozled here. Like, I don't know if he thought that this brimstone is in this corner here. And that's why he dashed. If you thought that the brimstone... Because, you know, in the heat of the moment, this can look like, you know, the guy dropped the Molotov, you know, from this position. Right here. If you thought if you thought that you saw that, I mean, I get a point, you know, why you did this. But basically, whenever you're taking the B side of Fracture with Jett, like 90% of times, if you're going through the B main, you want to use smoke in this 90-degree angle, dash into that smoke, and then around that smoke, clear the angles. You want to dash into this 90-degree smoke, right here, and then use that smoke as a tool to wrap the enemies and clear the site. Or you want to dash into this smoke, and then end up on site, fighting the enemies on tower only, while flicking in the middle of the dash on the right side, gathering this information. But just dashing in the middle of nowhere, without using your smoke, I mean, this was mega dangerous, like...
One side tower.
Here.
And also, listen, like, your main priority, when you're taking the B site, is clearing the tower, before your teammates start dying from the tower. Like, essentially, no matter if you're going through the arcade, or you're going through the B main, like, your main focus... So let's say I'm going through the B main. 80% of times, your focus should be this. Getting onto site, clearing the site, clearing the tower, clearing the arcade again, and this drop area of the map, and then going back onto the site and, you know, getting ready for the post-splint. Like, that should be like your Formula 1, like, pathing most of the time. Not always, but most of the time. Especially if you know that enemies have one enemy that is always anchoring the B site and playing around the tower. Such as this deadlock.
Deadlock tower.
And you see here, like, if you actually played... So, look at the enemy setup. So, enemies had a smoke right here. We had these 2 smokes. And we have 2 teammates that are slowly going through the B main area of the map. And there is nobody from the enemy team in the B main. If you actually played with your teammates in arcade, like 3 of us here, we could have destroyed this deadlock wall much faster, number 1. Number 2, as your teammates are going onto tower, what you can do through this smoke with Jett, you can give yourself this cover here, use the smoke, dash here, in the middle of the dash, clear the enemies on these locations, no one is there, pinch the deadlock together with your teammates, kill the deadlock, and we are playing 4v5. with the information that the Brimstone is in the canteen. Now, I didn't know about all of this, you know, before the round started. But this is most of the times what you should do with the Jett, you know, like, I mean, generally on Fracture, like, this is why this is so good, like, because if your team is just, you know, run onto tower alone, and you're not there to support them, a lot of the times they will be dying here like idiots because of the sentinel setups, because of the shotguns. They will have, like, I see millions of times, like, players, like, what they do when they're getting up on the tower, they do something like this. The worst way to get onto tower. Without any utility. And then Charlatan is here with a Bucky, you know, destroying you. Like, when you're getting onto tower, you know, jiggle peek this first, get the info. Then, drop on this angle, jiggle in, jiggle out, jiggle in, jiggle out, like. You need to compensate these mistakes, essentially, like, you need to be there for them.
Deadlock tower.
And also, like, after you dashed into this position, you needed to make some kind of a move, man. Like, you really needed to make some kind of a move. Like, usually, you want to dash towards the generator when you have close range weapons. Or if your plan is to pressure the enemies in the gen and in the canteen fast. You have a Stinger, you have a Spectre, you have a shotgun, something like that. You want to cut off the enemy's rotation. That is when you want to dash towards this area of the map. Like, once you end up here, you need to make some kind of a move. Either clearing the canteen, getting into the gen to cut off the rotation, or if your teammates are having a really bad time on the site, trying to kill the enemies on the side, but then you should have just dashed on the site. I mean, this was not worth it at all. I mean, like, yes, you did kill one enemy. Then we had an unfortunate event with the Yoru clone. But I don't know, man. Like, just do what I told you to do. You have much more success than what you did here. That was a bit unfortunate, to be honest. Like.
Reloading.
Especially when you're playing eco rounds and halberd rounds on the attacker's side, a really good solution on this map is a 5-man push through arcade, but I'm not gonna talk about it anymore. Like, we can go A. We need to jump spot this angle. Now, why do we need to jump spot this angle? First of all, we don't have any recon ability. Like, we're gonna get fucked. Second reason why we need to jump spot, we've noticed that enemies on the defender's side like to play operator. Like, you ought to play the op in a third round. If you just peek this angle, without the jump spot, without the flash, without the stun, I'm not peeking this first. Sorry, man. Like, so we have three options right now, based on information that we have. We can jump spot this angle and then take a fight, bait the enemy shot, essentially. We can tell the breach, brother, please, can you use a flash or stun to push the enemies back. And the third option is, like, you can use deep smoke to take the space as a Jett. Like, basically, as a Jett, like, you should always be providing the cover to your teammates. Like, you can just do this, essentially. Just one smoke. And take this position. And then fight the enemies. You don't need to use the dash. I mean, doing this is sometimes fine, you know, to take early space and to take the fight with the enemies in the sense. But this type of play you should mostly do, you know, where you're dashing here. This type of a play you should mostly do when enemies are fucking up your teammates with a utility immediately in the aim area of the map. Like, Breach is stunning you, flashing you, aftershocking you. Tejo is using the guided salvo and stuff like that. So here, like, because enemies are not fighting for the aim and area of the map, like, just use this smoke, and let's take the space. You know?
Stay down.
But we can also wait for Yoru to do that.
My ult's ready.
Listen, one more thing. You don't need the sands area of the map early on Fracture. Like, if your teammates are not going through sands, but we're just doing 5-man executes through A-main, it's okay. We can do that. You can try doing that early on. Like, when you should start fighting for sands is if enemies have a really fucked up team composition where you simply cannot push onto the A site without the sands control. Like, they have like a Cypher with some amazing trip setup, like Cypher and Vice defending A site. You get the point. Killjoy defending the positions and we cannot move in. Or if the 5-man executes through here are not working. Like with the Astra wall, we can just push in easily. Like, it's okay. We can just dash in. You know, use our default smoke dash into this position. From this spot, clear the under, clear the top, and that's it. Basically, one of the most default executes you should do with Jett is this, essentially. Getting onto this spot, from this spot, clearing under, clearing top. Then we can jump spot the enemies here and take a... I explained all of this in the rank playbook, like you already know about it. So you don't need to force fighting for dish if your teammates are not going through there. Because when you're going through the not dish, sands, sorry, sands. Because when you're going through the sands, you need one more teammate with you, man. And you need to have someone to refrag you because one guy needs to watch the tower peak. One guy needs to fight this, like, you cannot be fighting here alone. And also, you know, another great thing when you play with your teammates to the aim and area of the map is that if they start dying against the Teho that has a sheriff, you're there to refrag them and actually kill the enemies. Kill the Teho.
My territory, my root. I have them now.
We should be winning this, to be honest. We have a trip for the back that is really good. This spot, where you ended up right now, is probably the worst position where you can play post-plant on Fracture. And generally speaking, on A site. And generally speaking, you should avoid this shit as much as possible. Like, in this example, it was totally fine for you to stay behind this pillar. Even if your Astra ends up there, it's good. It's amazing. Like, basically you have two angles to peek the enemies, left and right. We can go for a double swing, double peek together, having the same vision on the same angles. Like, when you get stuck here, a lot of times you can just get fucked by the enemy's utility and it's easier to predict when and how you're gonna peek. And it's easier to kill you, essentially. Like, this spot is the only spot I avoid during the post plants on A site as much as I can. Everything else is like, okay, I mean, you can use it in different ways. Brother, teach me to play Valorant! I am.
Pulling them in. One enemy remaining.
I don't know who was like your chamber shooting there. Like, chamber is fighting his demons, man, like in the amen. And now this play that you're doing here is a bit unnecessary, you know? Like, basically you're 3 versus 1. Relax. Like you really want to just play on a refrag potential, man. Like, you have a chamber in the A main. You have Astra on the bomb site. Like, what do you do in this type of an example? Like, where enemies know your location and you're stuck somewhere. but we have numbers advantage. You just tell your teammates to play on your contact. Yell at them. Guys, when I get the fight, you peek. I fight, you peek. I fight, you peek. Don't peek, you... I mean, you can tell them in a different voice, like how... Depends, like, what works for that lobby. But here, like, going alone through the smoke, no reason, like, I mean... I doubt that we're gonna lose this round. But, our economy is still kinda shit. You know, we lost 3 rounds out of 4. So, in these earlier stages of the game, another reason why you should play in a bit more of a pacifist mode, where you're not searching for every single kill, is to preserve your economy. The more you're alive, the more guns we're gonna have in the future rounds. Okay, in this next round, like, I mean, we can do a 5-man push on A again. As I said, like, when enemies are not fighting aggressively for the aim and area of the map, that should be quite easy. The only thing we need to pay attention on is Yoru has the ultimate, which is not that big of a deal on defense, so whatever. Like, that's not gonna be that much of a problem. But the real problem is gonna be Teho. So, essentially, during the post plant, if we end up in a post plant on A site, based on this ultimate ability, we need to play aggressive. We need to fight for the dish. We need to fight for the site. We need to fight for the A main. Because that Teho is gonna destroy us otherwise. So this one ability is conditioning us to play in a completely different way if we end up in a post plant. This is how it ends. Wait for the abilities, you know, wait for the abilities. Also, one more tip. Please, if you're going through the sands, tell your teammates that you're going through the sands. Tell your teammates when you're opening the doors. The amount of times I die by running here, taking this fight, and then my teammate decides to open the doors, and I die from tower together with my teammate, too many times. Too many times for high elo lobbies. Like, tell your teammates, I'm going through sands, I'm gonna open the doors, be aware of it. Like, because I cannot focus on fighting enemies on site and in aiming, and you opening the doors, and then I'm in a pinch immediately. And if you already want to fight so many times through this sands area of the map, tell your Asha to smoke you the tower. Then this smoke that she's doing here is meaningless. Like, you know, we don't need it. Like, fuck it. Let's fight for the sands. Let's fight for the site. That's it. But I highly, highly advise you, man, like, if your teammates are mainly moving through the aim and area of the map, like, go with them. Play with them. You know? Like, support them. And if 5-man executes through this choke point are working, keep doing what's working for you. You don't need the sands, you don't need the dish. Like, fuck it. My daddy, welcome brother to the stream, huh? My daddy.
Here.
Listen, like, when you're in this type of a pinch, I mean, a lot of the times what works in low elo and medium elo lobbies is simply waiting. So what he is doing right now is okay, because players, you know, they lose focus. Like, they lose focus quite a lot, and they lose discipline a lot. So that is one thing that you can easily abuse when you end up in a numbers disadvantage on both attackers and defenders side. So what he is doing right now is okay, just the problem is, like, he is fully exposed from the site, and also from the tower. Like, we needed to find a much better position here to potentially hold this peak. Because right now, I mean, you know, like basically, you position right now in such a dangerous way where you could have easily ended up in some kind of a cross, like enemies from dish can see you, kill you. Enemies from site, if there's anyone on the site right now, easy kill. Like, you trusted your chamber a lot and your luck as well.
Yeah. 30 seconds left. Last player standing left.
You kind of, I mean, the problem, like, when you end up here, like, listen. When you end up in these, like, clutch situations, you know, like, numbers disadvantage stuff, you need to communicate with that last remaining teammate. Like, you know, you need to ask, either give an idea to that chamber what you want to do together, or ask the chamber what he wants to do. He is the one carrying the spike. Only God knows, like, if he's gonna run B, or if he's gonna fake and go back to A. I mean, here, you know, the idea to fake the footsteps towards the B site and run back on A, it's okay. I mean, it can work. Like, basically, theoretically speaking, it really doesn't matter in this round if they decided to end up on A or if they decided to end up on B. Probably the best idea after he got this kill on the enemy Reyna was to simply go into the A main and fight together with a chamber on A site. And that's it. Because Deadlock is 100% still anchoring the B site. We know that Brimstone and Yoru are on the A site. Let's kill the Brimstone and Yoru together, and then we're gonna deal with the Deadlock later.
30 seconds left. Last player standing.
Listen, one tip when you're playing Jett, like, if you get caught off guard, so you're absolutely not ready for the fight, with your movement, with your crosshair placement, with your left hand, right hand, like, you're not ready for the fight. Like, right here, look at this. You're aiming there, you're not expecting this peak. I would not even consider flicking towards this Brimstone. I would instantly use a dash ability to reset myself and then take a fight with a peeker's advantage, proper crosshair placement, and that's it. Especially when you're at a skill level on which you're right now. You can, you know, you can gamble on this flick and try to hit it. But the whole point of the dash ability is like to get the information, get some unfair fights, get a kill, get out. You don't want to die in the middle of the dash ability. And you don't want to die without using your dash ability. Like, the whole point of this ability is to take space, pressure the enemies, reveal them, potentially get a kill. Second life.
Last player standing.
Now listen, that last round, we didn't lose because enemies did something special. We are only losing the rounds because your team play is 0. You're playing alone. This whole match, you're just playing alone. Every fight that you take, solo fight. You're letting your teammates do whatever the fuck they want to do. You're never adapting your gameplay to what your teammates are doing. You're tunnel visioned on only on what you want to do. And then you're asking yourself, oh, how did I lose this round? Oh, how did I lose this match? Oh, I dropped 30 kills and my teammates like, every kill that you dropped in the previous round doesn't matter if you lost if you lost that round, right? Like, and the main mistake we made was at the beginning. why the fuck did we go through the sands when our teammates are, you know, consistently dying in this smoke here and they cannot move out? Especially because we don't have a smoke for the dish. I mean, we have Astra, so we cannot smoke everything, obviously. Like, you need to pay attention more, like, on where your teammates are dying, how they're dying, and what they're doing, instead of tunnel visioning yourself only on what you want to do. This is also a prime example. Like, yes, when you're pathing through the B main area of the map, you want to path like this. But if you already have Astra that is pacing through this area of the map towards the left side, like she's doing this type of a jiggle, I mean this type of a peak, you don't want to move like this. You want to move close to her anal cavity and be ready to refrag her as she's taking the fight. I don't know. As a final time, fuck the B main area of the map. Focus your executes more onto the arcade. It's much easier to take the B side control if we have the arcade and B tower control. Going only through the B main can be interesting. There's so many angles from which enemies can kill you. Even if you smoke them, it doesn't mean that much. You can easily end up in a crossfire. Enormous amount of 180-degree angles that are looking at each other like
Obscuring vision.
one brimstone molotov. Our execute is delayed, stopped completely.
Pulling them
Plus they have a deadlock on site. She's obviously gonna have some kind of a setup to fuck us up.
Finish site.
Oh! Was that a first com?
pulling them platinum.
Basically here, like, when you use your dash ability, you should have moved in. Like, you needed to move in with this dash ability. Like, basically, when you're executing the bomb sites that are guarded by the sentinels in the enemy team, you need to take the space with your object and dash ability. Like, if you don't do that, in that case, reset the round. Do something else. You know, we already got a kill on Yoru. We can easily walk back to the A site and execute the A site, where we know for the fact that deadlock is not there. Or we can go under towards the arcade, take the arcade control first, and then execute the B site. But this was just a complete suicide, you know, like... And I don't know why we even dashed away, to be honest, there.
Finish site.
Mother chamber, clutch minister, huh? Clutch minister.
I have the spike.
Now listen. This comes with experience, but it can also be developed with the training. The training that I fucking shared with you 2 years ago. And I don't know, man, like, you know, I actually never asked you if you actually did the training that I've recommended you to do. So please tell me if that is the case. Like, right now, you heard the enemy Yoru teleporting away. Who was the only player that was fighting for the A main area of the map this whole match? Yoru. So A main is probably cleared. Our teammates already have the dish control. What should we do? Run onto site. Like, that Yoru teleport is your cue to start running into the site. No shifting, like, we clear the right angle, clear behind the box. Basically, after that Yoru teleport, you have all of the info that you need. I will do this, clear this position, jump spot the enemies, use the dash ability, use a smoke here, clear this angle, default execute. We can go up here with a smoke updrift, taking the tower, then looking at the under, or we can do the smoke dash right here, taking the under control, then clearing these positions, clearing the tower, or using our default execute, which is basically this, and then from this smoke, clearing these positions, clearing this position, that's it. But we cannot walk anymore. We cannot shift. We need to take the space faster, essentially. Like, your teammates in the dish cannot be here. And what was I speaking about Yoru? Because he is the only danger for us. He is the only agent with a pop flash, and that's it. What is Tejo gonna do? Like, pull out his guided salvo and fight us with that? No. We know that Reyna is not playing on the same side with Yoru. They are switching the sides together. Brimstone has the Molotov, but whatever. I mean, like, he cannot use it immediately to fight us and surprise us, you know? Like, that is why we needed to start taking the space faster, man. Jump spot the enemies, jiggle pick them, clear the angles. Done. And your teammates in the dish, they cannot be here, and we are walking through the aiming area of the map. What are we doing, bro? Like, you know. Because, you know, like, what is the problem of this round? The problem is, like, your teammates in the dish already gave the information to the enemy team what they should do. The enemies are already rotating from B to A. Because enemies know that the only playstyle that you are using right now, this whole match, are 5-man executes. We're never lurking, we're never flanking, we're never, like, faking. Like, I guarantee you right now, there's gonna be like 3 enemies in this CT area of the map right here. Because we are way too slow.
Enemy kill. Enemy kill.
We'll talk about your mechanics a bit later. At the end. Let's go! Huh? Where was Yoru? No way, man. No way, man. Look at the Yoru, bro. Look at that sneaky. Huh? He dodged. He dodged somehow the Raze Boombot. I don't know how Boombot didn't see him. I don't know what the Boombot did there, to be honest. Maybe, I don't know. Also, he dodged the Breach Ultimate because, you know, Breach Ultimate has a gap, like, there. Nah, that was a bit unlucky, I guess, like.
One enemy remaining.
Good timing, good timing, good timing. Okay, now we know that Deadlock is the B player. This should be an easy round. But, what do we do now? What are we gonna do? Play with your most aggressive teammates. Tell the Raze, brother, let's take the dish together. Leave the chamber alone on the bomb site. Deadlock cannot smoke us off. Easy kills. Tell the Raze, come back. Let's go into Amen. Let's fight together. Now, Raze doesn't want to listen to you. No problem. Play with the Raze. Stick to her anal cavity and make sure that she is still a virgin. You know? Just play with her. Like, refrag her. Use her life. Look where she is. Look where is your Raze. Like she's playing right here, exposed from the CT, exposed from the dish, exposed from the tower. Play with her. Take more space. Fuck it. Like she is forcing you to make some kind of a move. Get into CT here and just hold this angle. And if the Raze fights the Deadlock here, okay, peek, take a kill, or go behind, take a kill. If Deadlock is coming through dish, peek, take a kill. And we have the trademark, a very weird trademark, for the aim area of the map. But also, in these type of scenarios, when you have a huge numbers advantage, like, sorry. What I wanted to say. During the post plans, another thing that you can, evaluate, basically, is your win conditions. Like, your win condition in this round is not only to play with the Raze. You can leave the Raze to the Jesus Christ. Like, Raze can die. It doesn't matter that much. As long as we play with our chamber. So, whether or not you support that Raze, it's not that big of a deal. But right here, I will definitely be playing with my chamber a bit more passively in the A main and taking more cover and, Okay. Okay, now Raze is dead because she is stupid. No problem. Play with the chamber. I don't give a fuck where is the I don't give a fuck where is this deadlock. I don't care if she ends up on the site, if she starts defusing the spike. The only thing I care about is what my chamber monkey is gonna do. My ass is close to the chamber's ass. We are the happiest gay couple ever. And I'm gonna refrag that motherfucker no matter what he does. And I'm gonna swing every fight that he takes. I'm gonna take that fight as well. Like, you are holding nothing right now. Okay, not bad. Could have been bad, but yeah.
Find a way to run.
Papito, if I use my main internet, the game doesn't work. But if I change to another network and start the game work, and I come back to my main internet and the game don't kick me or crashed, so what the fuck with that game? Bro, English goes hard sometimes, huh?
Thank you.
I don't know. I have no idea what you just said. But if I use my main internet, the game don't work. But if I change to another network and start the game work, back to my main internet, the game don't kick me or crash. So what the fuck with that game? You need to rewrite that question, man. Okay, so learn, adapt, overcome. I like it. We are finally going with our teammates together with them through the aim and area of the map. But I really hope that we learned. Why? What did the enemies do in their eco rounds when they played on the A site? They played inside with the smoke, with a Bucky, with a Judge, with a Shorty. We need to clear that smoke for our team. How? Pull out the Shorty, activate a dash ability, jump inside of the smoke, sideways, try to take a kill before your teammates start dying. Or, even better, tell your teammates to clear that smoke. That's probably a better idea. Like, tell the Raze to use a nade, boombot, spam it a bit. Wait for the smoke to disappear at the end of the day. But here, I would definitely be spamming this smoke a bit on this right side and left side as well. Like exactly here and here. Because that is the last time where enemies fucked up your teammates.
Okay.
This is how it ends. Nice kill. Okay, good spam. I mean, we have a dash ability, we can do that. Bro, you saw the guy. Why you're still spamming that position? Do we have an Alzheimer? Brother, I think you need a different type of doctor. I'm the doc for Valorant, not for this. Like, what? What did he think the guy went... I mean, he was fully locked onto that angle, bro. He was just looking there. And you saw the guy swinging towards the right side. I mean, when it comes to Alzheimer, I didn't study medicine, so I really don't know if there's a cure for that and what we can do there. Dementia is a big problem as well, like as you're getting older, you know, like you start forgetting stuff like that. But this was criminal, man. The guy saw that the Tejo swung like this. Tejo can only be in this area of the map because we have the vision if he goes under. Like, what do we do then? We use a smoke dash. Basically, anywhere. We can go underside or whatever. Like, we can go underside, kill the Tejo, isolate the Tejo in a 1v1 fight, and then focus on the enemies that are outside of the plant site.
Spike down A. Down A.
When Yoru has the ultimate, you need to be ready for this. Like basically, but listen here. So when the Yoru has the ultimate, you always want to carry the shorty as your primary, secondary weapon. Always. But don't show the Yoru that you have a shorty. So what I will be doing here is I will be doing this. You know, just spamming the enemies with the smoke, maybe trying to kill the brimstone. And as soon as I think that Yoru is gonna come out of the ultimate, or he is coming out of the ultimate, I'm also gonna jump to fuck up his crosshair placement, pull out the shorty, and the shotgun fight begins. You know, we're playing Fortnite at that point. But you don't want to pull out the shorty and showcase the Yoru that you have it, or, and God forbid you also wasted one bullet of the shorty. I mean, these days, killing someone with only one bullet of the shorty is a miracle. The guy needs to be with zero shield. So what you wanted to do here is, you know, fight with the enemies maybe a bit, spray them a bit like through the smoke, and make the Yoru make the Yoru think that you don't give a fuck about him, and then when Yoru is close, pull out the shorty and kill him. Gerald, brother, like I've shared with you an article how to fix that Val 43 error. I don't know if it's gonna work, but I don't work at Riot Games, and plus I never had that error in my life.
Here.
as the chat GPT.
Here.
Is there any plan in this round? No plan. Listen, man, like, I really don't know, like, how much you're leading your teammates. You need to start speaking more, like, if you want to have higher chances of winning in these lobbies. Like, if you have a mental power to lead only in 2 games per day, just play 2 games per day. But I don't know if you recorded your comms, because, I don't know, this is criminal, man, like, what we're doing on a macro level.
Spike down, attacker spawn.
But to be honest, like, this is the first time where the enemies actually push behind us this aggressive. And I also wouldn't expect that enemy Yoru is gonna kill my chamber in the B main area of the map. They usually held B main quite passively. I think this is the funniest animation and the funniest sound ever. Like, just look at this shit. Like,
My ult's ready.
ooh, we got the info. We got the info.
My ult's ready.
Guys up. No. Bro, but Like, what is this visual perception of information, man? Like you need to focus more on what's happening. I don't know what's up with your focus, but this needs to be much better. Like, I mean, you got Immortal 3, brother, on Australia, man. Like, you saw the rocket like going like this, but this rocket cannot go through walls, you know? Like, you knew that the guy is on the top. Why is your crosshair inside of the box and on the lower ground? Never mind. Like, he's a mechanical god. It's all part of the plan. It's all part of Shazam's great plan. Never doubt. Never doubt. Never doubt those flick shots.
I'm gonna ult.
Last player standing.
You should have waited. Like, that... Like, basically, in this 2v3 scenario... Like, so listen. One of the main reasons why you're losing so many rounds on the attacker side, it feels like you're autopiloting a lot. You need to start tracking a bit more what is happening around you, how the enemies are positioning themselves, what your teammates are doing, what type of ultimates we have, stuff like that. Like, I don't know, you're just focused on fighting, essentially. Like, to fix this, you already have the training. I've already shared with you the training for this. If that training doesn't work, we'll try something else. We'll try something different. But you need to focus more on your surroundings. Like, we're 2 versus 3, we have the Raze ultimate, and you are the first one to peek. Why? Like, you know that enemies are defending the spike. Let the Raze use the ultimate. She deletes one enemy. We're 2 versus 2. We fight together, we win the round. Like, why do you need to be the first contact?
I'm gonna ult.
Last player.
Is this... Ah, it's not. Okay, never mind. I thought this 5-man arcade push, but actually it's a 4-man sitting in spawn strategy. This is a classic Valorant strategy, guys. Like, you just don't understand it, like, you know? One day they're gonna use this in VCT. 4 people sitting in spawn. And we're not even looking at the enemies, you know? We pay attention at our... We give them, like, we're doing, yeah, clips, stuff like that. Hard. Now listen, what he is doing right now, you know, with this lurk and solo play, not okay and okay in the same time. Like, it is not okay because I think that we have a lot of information how we can fuck up the enemies on the A site. Like, basically, enemies are never playing in the A main area of the map. We can take it for free. Enemy Teho is always playing on top of the site. Literally every round. Buy the Bucky, buy the updraft, buy a smoke. Smoke, updraft, dash, kill the Teho, take the Vandal, open the site. Done. Now, the reason why is it okay is because enemies are probably not going to expect it. Number 1. Number 2, our teammates were anyways playing a bit more slower. You know, they're not really executing that fast. So we might have enough time to lurk and get some kills and open something for them. And another reason why is it okay is because, like, I mean, our 5-man playstyle was not really working that well, so we might as well try something different. And it's okay that he's waiting here a bit, like, what I would also do here is I would wait for the first contact, between enemies and my teammates and then make a move. Yeah, very good, very good. But listen, like, I would have waited even more here. Because you see the minimap. Like, your teammates didn't make a single footstep here. They didn't make a single contact. Like, when you're doing this type of lurks and flanks, you need to have some kind of a timing and some type of a, like, trigger when you want to move somewhere. Like, basically here, based on timing, I don't know. I really don't know what enemies are doing in this round and how they're gonna position. But one thing is for certain. Whenever enemies got the info that we were pushing A, they were rotating like this, and only Deadlock was anchoring the B site. So, the right moment of time now to do... Let me show you. To do this is when our teammates make the first contact with the enemies on A side. But they still didn't do it. And that is why this is not gonna work. No contact. And now, you know, your team has made that contact. You should have waited a bit more, essentially. Like, you should have waited like 5 seconds more. And that was the right timing to do this type of a lurk. Like, there needs to be some kind of a trigger for your lurk and when you want to start moving through a specific area of the map. Like, basically, you cannot just randomly, like, you know, walk somewhere however you want and whenever you want. Usually the best moment of time to start taking space somewhere else is based on the sound that you're getting in that area of the map, or based on how much pressure your teammates are making on the opposite part of the map. You cannot just do it based on your feeling.
Spike down.
Remember that your feelings in Valorant don't matter. Anyways, after you reach Radiant, you will lose every single emotion in life. Actually true, like, to be honest. I don't know why I'm laughing.
Reloading. Reloading. Need that back. Taking that back.
Why would you do that?
We don't have to hit this. Yeah, you guys wanna rotate?
Yeah, we don't have to, we don't have to, we don't have to.
I mean, instead of wasting those 2 knives, get behind the smoke, updraft with the dash ability, try to kill someone, and then we can reset the round. If you get a kill, amazing. We got the ultimate back. We are 5 versus 3. If you don't get a kill, who the fuck cares? Like, at least you try to do something with the 2 remaining knives. I don't know why you just spammed them through the smoke and wasted them. Rule number 1 of Valorant. Whenever you're rotating from location number 1 onto location number 2, behave towards every single angle as if the enemies are there and they will be there. Like, clear everything as if the enemies are just waiting for you to come. That's why Astra died, essentially. I mean, like, our protagonist, Shazam, he couldn't do that much. I mean, he was far away from this booty. But after the Astra died, let's be honest, we could have activated the dash ability much earlier. You know, here, for an example, take the gun out, get behind the cover, activate the dash ability, and with the peeker's advantage and proper crosshair placement, we delete the Teho together with the breach and raise. That's one solution. Second solution is, like, we can simply smoke dash onto the Teho with a shorty in our hands, delete the Teho from this life, and move on with a plan. I don't know why you took this fight without the dash ability. Like, I mean, every single time when you die like this and you're playing Jett, it is the moment of time where you could have done something, but you don't need coaching. Like what you need is a dash ability. Like every single time when you die like this and you're playing Jett, you don't need a Radiant player to tell you what to do. You just need to be a bit lighter on that dash ability. Like press it, use it, like fuck it. The whole point of the dash ability is to, as I said, like take space, take a safe fight, take information, maybe get a kill, and stay alive. Like you are staying in a gunfight for a bullet, burst fire, one shot from the operator, getting out, resetting yourself for the next fight. Okay, overall, the attacker side was criminal. Criminal. And there's so many better things that we could have done. But, yeah. Let's see what you're doing on defense, I guess. Now, on a defender side of Fracture, B side is your default site #1 priority, A site #2 priority. Essentially, whenever you have no idea where the enemies are gonna go, simply start on B, guarding the arcade or guarding the bomb site, and play fast rotations, and that's it. Fracture on defender side is a fast rotation map, like prioritize team play over the bomb site control. Not the map control, but the bomb site control. Now, basically on Fracture, what is really important is that every single round we are applying the pressure in the A main area of the map, and we should be fighting for this specific area. Essentially, A main control is very important, and if you have like a Tejo, Breach, someone that can easily take the A main control, I highly recommend you to do that. Like basically tell the Brimstone to smoke the, you know, Astra or Brimstone, whatever, like to smoke the choke point, use a pull here, use the Tejo guy, the salvo, fight for it. Also, if the enemies are fighting, you can fuck them up in so many different ways. Like in this specific game, we have Astra in the team. Astra can simply use the smoke here, use the pull. If the enemies are coming out, GG, well played, cool Tigers, A main is ours, fuck the enemies up. Now, on this map, the only area of the map where you never want to fight alone or pick the enemies alone is the B main area of the map. You can jump spot the enemies, but don't take a fight unless you're playing Jett with a dash ability or Chamber with a teleport. Now, in the first round of Fracture, you always play on the A site, and we play an aggressive strategy. So, this is how it looks like. You tell 3 of your teammates to play B site and to guard B. You tell one of your allies on A site to push Dish together with you on the contact, basically shifting. With a Jett, you can buy a classic, light shield, 2 smokes, or buy the ghost with a smoke. Now, you shift through the Dish area of the map, you know, here, jiggle pick this angle, and then clear the rest of this area together with your teammate. You or your teammate should be here, and the second player should be here. We take the Dish fight, and based on what happens on the map, depends what is our next step. If we don't see any enemies here, and enemies are pushing B side, we slowly, do a fast lurk and flank behind the enemies, and immediately pinch them through arcade, and we help our teammates on site. If we kill an enemy here, we fall back onto the site, and we are defending the A side. If we don't see any enemies here, but the enemies are pushing A side, we do a fast clear of the Dish, and then we fight for the A side from the Dish, and that's it. Now, on Fracture, the worst thing you can do is selling this map control for free. Especially the arcade and the A main area of the map, you should never be selling for free. That's it. Let's see what our friend is gonna do. Okay, we can do this. We have a dash ability. Nice kill.
Good kill.
Good, good, good. Very good retreat as well. I like this gameplay a lot. Mega disciplined. We got a kill. We made numbers advantage. We got a kill in A main. No reason to fight anymore. Muy bien.
Here.
The only thing that I would done here differently is I would probably move more towards the A main. Because basically, whenever you have 2 groups of enemies separated, so we know that 1 or 2 enemies are here, 1 or 2 enemies are here. You want to fight the group of enemies that your teammates are going to fight at that moment of time. So basically we have the Breach and Raze in A main, we have Astra right here. I would leave Astra alone, watching this drop, and I would actually regroup with Breach and Raze, killing the remaining enemies in the A main, and then focusing on the rest of the enemy team that is in the dish.
Blocking vision.
But they did that without you, so it's
Everyone's
okay.
Like in their spawn.
Now we know that Deadlock is dish, and probably Tejo as well. I mean, I didn't see him.
Here.
Tail was towards me.
He's close.
One enemy remaining.
Okay. I mean, it's 5v1, just play together. Yeah, okay, good. Now, if you lose the first round on Fracture, the second round you're always gambling on the A site and play on A site. If you win the first round on Fracture, second round, always play on B site. Now, because we won the first round, in the second round, we should play on B, and you have a lot of different options. Option number one, we can simply buy a Marshal with a heavy shield, and with a ghost that we saved, and we save money for the Operator in the 4th or 5th round. We're guarding the arcade area of the map, holding an angle like this, trying to kill the enemies, retreating onto the generator, from the generator trying to kill the enemies again, dropping down. With the dash ability we can re-pick the enemies, take easy kills. We can buy the Outlaw, with a light shield, regen shield, heavy shield, and utility, do the same shit. Also, if you save the Ghost, or the Sheriff, from the first round, you can buy the Stinger, with a heavy shield, or you can buy the Judge, and simply, with a Ghost and Sheriff, bait the enemies to push you, fuck them up with a Judge or Stinger in the tower, and that's it. Whichever option you decide to do, it's really up to your playstyle, mechanical skill, what you prefer more. Bulldog, with a regen shield, I would not really buy on Fracture. I mean, Bulldog is always, you know, like the most optimal anti-eco weapon, but if you're already buying Bulldog in a second round, buy it with a heavy shield. Oh, so if you're buying a Bulldog in a second round, buy the Bulldog, buy the heavy shield, and the rest of the money invest into your abilities. Especially if you're playing Jett, he saved one smoke from the previous round. That's it. You don't need anything else. You don't need an updraft, you don't need a second smoke. All you need is a heavy shield, Bulldog, and one smoke to win the next round. Also, as I said, like if you're playing the second round on B site, focus on guarding the arcade, and that's it. And if enemies are pushing through B main, then you know just simply turn your focus onto the B main.
Here.
Also, I mean, it's okay that he's this passive. I mean, whatever, like it's. Well, that's more like mechanics, but listen, if you're guarding the beast in the second anti-eco round, like focus more on arcade, guard the arcade, and then if enemies are pushing from the B main, simply, you know, get onto the side then. Go onto the tower. From tower, defend the site. There's no reason to close the gap with the enemies as much as you did if you're already playing Bulldog. Because, you know, my pathing here would be like this. I have a Bulldog. I'm gonna hold this tight angle, guarding the arcade. I'll try to kill the enemies here. I don't see any enemies in arcade. I'm instantly activating a dash ability and taking this type of a fight. Medium, long range fight. I don't need to be close to the enemies. After a fight, I can dash away, updraft, take a fight. Again, with my chamber. Drop down, reset myself, wait for my teammates to rotate, and play with them. But ultimately, you know, the best idea would be for you, if you're already playing Jett, just get a Judge with a heavy shield and ghost. From the tower, you know, you can start the round by guarding, as I said, the arcade or guarding the main area of the map in a default way. Bait the enemies to come towards you with a ghost. They're gonna think you only have a ghost. Take 2-3 easy kills. Enemies are planting the spike. Win the round. End of the story. Like, there's no reason to complicate things with a Bulldog. Like, it is the most optimal weapon, but, you know, there's no reason to play it.
Here.
Also, what I wanted to say here, like, I don't know why you're starting so passively. Like, I mean, if you're already playing an anti-eco round, you want to fight the enemies in a long-range fights, you know, like, especially with the Bulldog, like, because the main power of the Bulldog is the burst fire. One body shot, one headshot, enemies are dead on any distance. So you want to hold this type of an angle, try to get a kill, or maybe, you know, get on this position, this off angle, hold it like this, get a kill, drop down, get a kill, get away. Your chamber is still fighting, updraft, take a kill, drop down, reset yourself. When you get stuck at the backside like you did, you're just forcing the fight with the enemies, close range fight, that you don't want to force with a Bulldog in this round. You want to fight these long range fights, like, I mean, there's the whole point of the anti-eco round.
Up.
Well, that was harder than it should be.
Yeah, a bit.
Now, in this bonus round, playing on A site, good idea. Why? In the first round, enemies went A. In the second round, enemies went B. So the chances are the highest right now that enemies are going to go A again. Basically, in the first 4 rounds, there is a very limited amount of tools and information that you can work with to read the enemies. Like, you can read the enemies based on economy, based on the early pattern of pushing, based on rule of fear, AB rule, rule of 3 sites. Like, there are some rules that you can use, but you know, that's only thing that you have. So right now, playing on the B side, muy bien. Oh, on the A side, sorry, muy bien. It is good. And what you're doing here is okay. You know, like a double bait setup to kill the enemies in the dish, it can work. It can work.
Reloading.
Okay. It was a okay gamble. Now listen, whenever your teammates lose, so you want to play with the shotguns in the dish, and your teammates lose the aim and area of the map. Now you cannot play here anymore because you're obviously exposed from the enemies in aiming. What do? You drop down, and with a classic pistol, you bait the enemies to come towards you. Ba ba boo, ba ba ba. Just bait. Ba ba boo, ba ba ba. You know, you're holding a tight angle like this. Ba ba boo, ba ba ba. Now, when the enemies are closing the gap with you, you take this angle, where you're not exposed from the enemies in aiming, smoke yourself, activate the dash ability, delete the enemies. You cannot play here passively if you don't have the aiming control. I mean, personally, I would never play in this angle with the shotguns alone, because if enemies peek you from the further wall like this, they will always see the tip of your gun before you see them. Angle perception advantage, obviously. So you cannot play that position. Like, it is much better idea to bait the enemies with a classic pistol. Then they're gonna probably run a bit more. You know, they will make the footsteps. You will get the idea when you're gonna fight the enemies. You will get the information. And then you can simply, you know, smoke yourself off. Delete the enemies.
Sure.
If we did exactly what I told you to do, you would have gotten maybe 1 or 2 kills in the dish, a weapon for yourself, and a round for your team. Essentially, like, on this spot here on Fracture, you can play statically only if you have someone that is baiting for you. You know, a teammate that is baiting for you, and you have the full aim and area of the map, or a smoke for the dish. Like, a lot of times, you know, with Omen, what I like to do is, like, I bait the enemies into thinking that I'm not in the dish anymore. Like, I will drop this type of a smoke and then maybe play here, or play on this position in the smoke and wait for them to come into the smoke, and then fuck them up and do something else. But, like, every action has some kind of a reaction, brother. Like, if you lose aim and area of the map, you know that you cannot play here.
Bro.
Now in this round, playing on the B set again, good idea, absolutely. But on Fracture, you cannot play this passively. Like, at least fight for arcade area of the map. Like, take some off angle. You know, like, basically, I don't know, like, I mean, I know, but, you know, take this position, like, once in a round, like, here, you know. Then, in the next round, what you can do, hide here, and take this off angle. Or, on timing, we can peek the enemies, try to get a kill, and dash away, for an example. Like, take this position, like, play some double bait setup with your teammates. I don't know, with a chamber. Tell the chamber brother, we have a TP, we have a dash. Let's try to peek the enemies, why not? We can do a double peek with those two agents. Because we both have escape abilities. But playing this passively, I mean, it is a bonus round for the enemies. But the problem is, I mean, not a bonus round, like, they have lower economy. But the problem is, they have Deadlock's ultimate. And if Yoru flashes us, even if we kill the... I don't know, like... A lot of bad things can happen, to be honest. Why are you like, your crosshair placement is what's fucking you up. You know, like... I know that you know that Yoru is gonna teleport on site. So we both know that Yoru is gonna TP and do the same play. Why? Because players in Valorant are repetitive. Especially between Iron 1 and Immortal 2. The main thing that you can abuse against enemies is the repetition. Players are... Adaptiveness is 0. They have playbooks very shallow. You can expect same plays 2-3 rounds in a row. You have a smoke for the B main. Instant smoke. Your chamber is there as well. Like, my crosshair right now would be here. And I would not be positioned in the way that you are. Like, if I'm trying to counter that Yoru, I'll be here. Like this. Waiting for Yoru to get in. Aha. My chamber got a contact with the enemies. I'm instantly activating a dash ability. Waiting for Yoru to teleport. Yoru teleports. We delete the Yoru. We delete maybe one more enemy. Let's get onto this off angle. Delete one more enemy, go down. For an example. Or if Yoru is consistently doing... You know, if you saw in the first round, first time when you play B-side, that Yoru does this play. Flash here and TP here. Play passively on the tower. Kill the Yoru. Focus on arcade or focus on killing the rest of the enemies. You could have easily hide yourself from that flash. Place your crosshair in the box. Wait for the teleport. Take a kill. Your round. Your round. I mean, we won it, but... Now, in this round, we should be playing ace side. Like, on a defender side, as long as the enemies are following either the AB rule, rule of fear, or rule of 3 executes, you just follow these rules. Those are the 3 most important rules on a defender side of Valorant, and the most common 3 patterns that players use in ranked solo queue. So right now, where you should be playing? Either in A main, or Dish fucking up the enemies. Personally, I would probably just fuck up enemies in Dish, because what you notice in the early rounds, whenever enemies were pushing A site, 2 were Dish, 3 were main. We can just kill these 2 guys on Dish, without any casualties on site, play passively here, and then retake the site 5 versus 3. Now, obviously, enemies can change their pattern of pushing, but this is the only information that we can work with. And another reason why I would start in Dish is Yoru has the ultimate, and Yoru is probably going to use his ultimate through the A main if they're pushing A site. So, you know, my operator might be completely useless in A main area of the map. That is another thing you need to pay attention on when you're fighting the Yoru with the ultimate.
Who's next?
Okay, so this round, enemies change their pattern of pushing. So from now on, we cannot use this pattern to read the enemies. We need to use something else for the next round. Now, here. After the Yoru ulted on chamber and killed the chamber, first thing I would do is activate the dash ability and then peek this angle. I don't know how many enemies are pushing B side. I don't know who am I gonna fight here. And also, as I'm taking the fight with the Yoru, I want to have the dash ability. Now, since the chamber died, we are exposed from 3 angles. Essentially. So, what we need to do, we need to isolate these angles. Like, either focus on fighting the enemies in arcade, in the B main, or killing this Yoru. Killing the Yoru and killing these guys would be a bit of a suicide. So what I would do is simply locking in the arcade, trying to kill the Yoru if he decides to do this, and waiting for my teammates to rotate. And if we did that, we would have killed the Deadlock, the Donald Trump Deadlock, and we would have like been like 4 versus 4, and maybe have some chance of winning this round. Basically, whenever you start the round in arcade and your teammates die on tower or site, you need to either get out and play retake, or fight for the arcade and wait for your teammates to rotate. Yo, Alessemo, your VOD is next. I'm gonna do it today. We're doing it today. Also, I mean, like, if enemies, like, with a Jett, you shouldn't be afraid to take a fight in the B main area of the map. Like, with a dash ability, why not an operator? Like, just activate a dash ability, peek with op, take a kill, get out.
I hear that.
Now, playing on the B side here is just a gamble, but, you know, the main problem that we have on a defender side right now is that we are not fighting aggressively for any area of the map, but we are never truly taking any area of the map. And that is, like, we cannot do that on Fracture. Like, every round, we should be either locking down the B main or A main area of the map. Especially A main. Tell the breach stun A main, Astra smoke it, gravity well, and that's it. Even if you're not playing there, you need to tell your teammates to lock it in.
Or so, never mind.
Yours, just Europe.
Now, because our team has died a long time ago, we need to expect enemies already close to the CT. So your gun should be out, ready to fight. Enemies can be on tower already. Yeah.
Spike planted.
Was it okay that he took this fight that he took? Yeah. I mean, we are 3 versus 5. We need to do something. We need to find some kills. Sure, fine. Another thing, like, if you notice, like, so if you notice that enemies are only executing bomb sites together as 5, and enemies don't have a real sentinel, Vise with a wall, Chamber with a trip, Cypher, Killjoy, like they have a Deadlock or Sage, feel free to flank a bit more. Like, do that. But fast early flanks on the first contact. Like, basically in this match, enemies are consistently just pushing together as 5. Consistently. And we are just losing the bomb sites. And you don't even have time to rotate to help your teammates out. If that is already the case, you know, as soon as your Astra died here, you could have instantly went for a fast rotation. I would be running all the way here and then walk behind the enemies. Because not only that we're, you know, we lost the A site, but we're in a huge numbers disadvantage. So This is gonna be interesting.
You forget that.
Okay.
Satchel out.
That was crazy.
Here. My territory, my rules.
Don't pick drop, don't pick drop.
Spike free.
Listen, if you already have a close range weapon, such as Bucky or Judge, and you're retaking a set of Fracture, probably, I mean not probably, like the best idea for you is to use this enemy smoke to close the gap with the enemies. Especially if you know that the enemies are playing in the dish. That is your easiest kill. With a Judge, Bucky, or whichever gun you have at that moment of time. Like enemies, when they were pushing A site, they were never taking the sense control and never fighting here. Like get in a smoke, use your smoke, updraft dash, try to kill these guys, take their guns out, and then focus on the enemies on site. Like, anyways, like, you know, if I'm here with a shotgun and a classic pistol, you don't want to take this fight. Like, when you clear the sands and your brimstone was here, drop down. Like, on this range, killing someone with a classic pistol, brother, you need enormous amount of luck to do that. Literally luck. Because the bullet spread of a classic pistol is enormous. All of these shots that I have taken right now are shots at the same spot. This is huge bullet spread. Like this can be a body shot, it can be a headshot. Like, only if the enemies are very low HP, you wanna fight them with a classic pistol on that range. And if you really need to do that. But here you didn't need to do that. Like you know that one guy is aiming, you know that that some enemies are dish, drop down, some enemies are sight. Let's maybe try to, you know, fight the enemies in main. If guy is close, we can smoke dish, bop. Take a kill, take his gun out, maybe retake the site. You need to slow down a bit, you know, like during these retakes, like and think a bit more. And fight based on which weapon you have at that moment of time. Also, a really good idea in this round would have been following your chamber. You know? Like, as I said, like, enemies don't have anything or anyone that can cover the flanks and lurks. And I highly doubt that Diamond Platinum players would expect a double flank. You know, they might expect your chamber, but they're definitely not going to expect you. And since this is an eco hull by force by round, sure, why not? Let's mix it up a bit. Let's do something different. Like, if something is not working for you, there is no point repeating it over and over again. And as I said, like, the main problem and the main mistake on Fracture the players make on a defender side, you need to have the aim and control. Like, this needs to be taken. We need to fight the enemies here. Like, I mean, we have such a good team composition to do that. Like, you know, Astra can, as I said, like, smoke this. We have a Gravity Well, Nova Pulse, Breach Stun, Breach after. Like, we can keep aiming for a minute, basically. We can deny 3 executes of enemies through aim and area of the map. Now, this jump, I think it is still doable, if I'm not mistaken. I think you can still do this jump on Fracture. But it is mega hard. Like, you need to hit some insane timing with this. You can try it in a custom server. I know that this is obviously possible. That you can get there without using the updraft. Yeah, it is basically like a split jump from rafters to A tower. Raise nade, yeah, plus you have the raise in the team.
two. Wait.
Who's next?
Spike down B.
Good activation of a dash ability. You know? So, I mean, solid, okay. You know. One of the main problems in this elo is, like, communication is 0. When Yoru is ulting you, like, very rarely they're gonna ping you or tell their teammates where you are, like, in Diamond Lobby, like, come on.
You're dead.
Ran away B main.
Now, this rotation that he did is also fine. I mean, on one side, he has 3 teammates that are fighting together, and on opposite side, he has only Astra that is alone. So, this is a good game decision to rotate, and no matter if the enemies decide to end up on B set again, absolutely fine. In the worst case scenario, we're gonna be like 2 versus 2, I don't know, like. But this peak that we're doing, a bit like, so what would be a much better decision here? You know, we don't have aim and area of the map. Our Astra is on dish. We don't know if enemies are gonna go dish, aim in, or onto the B side. Our Astra is alone here. Get in dish. I leave the site open. Like, basically, when you make true numbers advantage in Valorant, such as 5 versus 2, just focus on team play. And making sure that we isolate the angles in a way where the enemies cannot backstab us and fuck us up on timing. Like, right now, you simply get on Astra is holding aim in, you're holding dish, you see enemies dish. We are immediately ready to fight together on a refrag potential. Astra sees enemies in aim in, we're immediately ready to fight together on a refrag potential. But if you're playing on site and Astra is here, and she maybe looks at the aim in, gets peeked on timing here, she's dead. Or she takes a fight in dish, you cannot help her, you cannot play with her, and we might lose one important piece. I also don't know what the fuck she's doing. This positioning is fine. I mean, like, we're selling our raise a bit, to be honest. It's okay. I mean, they're probably, I don't know.
30 seconds left.
They're A.
No, this was okay.
Enemy remaining.
This was fine.
Spike down A.
Wow, Reyna is canteen, man. Crazy stuff.
Here.
Okay, I mean, like, first of all, when there is only 1 round left, like when enemies are at the match point, by every round, play like it is the last round. So right now, instead of playing a stupid regen shield, you should buy a heavy shield. Like, brother, we are 8-12. You know, like, you don't want to die from the stupid, you know, 1 tap of a phantom, 1 tap of a sheriff, and stuff like that. Buy everything. Behave towards this round like it is the last round of the match. And playing ASAT in Amen is a good idea. Like, this is kind of like your default play that you need to do on Fracture. Like, fighting aggressively for the Amen area of the map and making sure that we are denying the enemy's push there. Because of the reasons that I mentioned on the attacker's side.
Here.
But observe the pieces that you have, man. You know? In your team. Like Astra, Breach, Raze. Like, why would you and Breach be alone fighting the enemies here? Like for an example, tell Astra to use a smoke here, 1 star here, and then we can deny the first push of the enemies. And then if the enemies decide to re-hit, Breach has a stun, Aftershock can flash to deny enemies again, and we can get more kills. Like, I don't know why would we be guarding this only with a Breach utility?
Spike down A.
Simply said, we died because of the Peeker's advantage.
Spike down A.
I mean, disadvantage. Like when you're holding the angles this statically, the first shot needs to be a headshot. Like you literally need to delete the enemies.
Spike.
And what he was doing here is something that I would not do. Your Breach got 2 kills. Get out. Job done. I mean, it is not only your job to make numbers advantage and take the kills. Like, whoever makes a numbers advantage, your job is done. That round is already over. In terms of macro play. Now we just preserve that numbers advantage. We can dash away from this Techos guided salvo. Reconnect with our Breach in the sands. Play with the Breach. That's it.
Down A.
Instead we die there. Okay, let's see this. That was a good Yoru play, man. Like, this is something he never did before, so I wouldn't expect this personally. So it's okay. Okay, just after you dashed away, you should have immediately updrafted on the gen, because on generator, yes, enemies are gonna expect you, but you're always pretty safe, you know? Because after a shot, you can always drop down with a knife, and you have the safety. What you did here was 10 times more dangerous. You know, doing a smoke here, then getting into canteen, risking getting peeked through the smoke, spammed, like... That was mega risky. I wanna see you play Marvels. Need this type of strategy making in Rivals. Your views will go crazy, bruh. I will start with the Rivals content, but the problem is I'm lagging a lot with my Valorant content. Like, I'm currently making a website for coaching, website for playbook. I need to finish the playbooks for 5 agents that we started, Chamber, Yoru, and Raze. I need to finish some YouTube videos that I have prepared. So, Rivals content is gonna be delayed for at least 2 more months. The next 2 months, I'm just gonna try to catch up with everything that I've missed. Also, maybe do unranked to Immortal with a new agent. And once I do all of that, I will dive into other games. I'll have time to do that, actually.
Go ahead. Stand your ground.
Spike planted.
We have breach ult for retake.
You know what is the problem with Rivals? I never coached in my life a 6v6 shooter game. I don't know how would that even work.
Ulting.
Okay. Okay, Shazam, brother. Like, I think we discussed a lot of things during this VOD review. Basically, it is like 3 hours long. Listen. I've already told you this through private messages. But, because you got 1 month coaching from me. Like, every month, you can submit 1 VOD for a free review through private messages. Every day, you can send me 3 clips for a quick private review. Every day, you can ask me 5 questions. Like, the problem is, like, the problems that you have are really hard to fix only through one VOD review. Like, you need to have a greater game knowledge, less autopiloting, to be more focused on the information and understanding how to react on certain things in the game. You know? Like, abuse that. I mean, like, if I already gave you something for free, you know, if I already gave you my anal cavity for free, abuse me, bro. Like, you know? And that's the whole point of the coaching. It needs to be a long-term journey. But I, as I said, like, I firmly believe that you will get Immortal in North America next act without any problems. But the problems for you are gonna begin, like, once you get to Immortal again. If you have this type of positioning, team play, and awareness. You need to track more, like, what's happening up here with the ultimate abilities. What are the enemies doing on a macro and micro level? You know? Raze or Jett on this map. Raze is better, but Jett is fine, essentially. Okay, we have another VOD review to finish for today, so we need to save ourselves a bit. Thank you for watching this one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. Join my Discord server if you want to get coaching and if you want to win coaching as well through giveaways. You can also win some free Valorant points. And I will see you in the next one. Yay!